Good morning. This is Mrs. A.P. Nandini, Department of English, Gobi Arts and Science College. This is a class about the Blessed Damozel, a Victorian poem. The poem, The Blessed Damozel, was written by Dante Gabriel Rossetti. Before going into the poem, we are going to see about an author and his works. Dante Gabriel Rossetti was a British poet, illustrator, painter, and translator, and a member of the Rossetti family. Rossetti's art was characterized by its sensuality and its medieval revivalism. His early poetry was influenced by John Keats. His later poetry was characterized by the complex interlinking of thought and feeling, especially in his sonnet sequence, The House of Life. Poetry and image are closely entwined in Rossetti's work. He frequently wrote sonnets to accompany his pictures, spanning from the girlhood of Mary Virgin, 1849, and Astarte Syriaca, 1877. The Blessed Damozel by Dante Gabriel Rossetti is a ballad. It is dedicated to the love between a woman trapped in heaven and a man stuck on earth. The poem began with the speaker describing a woman who, leaning out from heaven, can be seen holding lilies in her hands. The Blessed Damozel by Dante Gabriel Rossetti is a traditional ballad that alternates its meter between iambic tetrameter made of 4 beats per line and iambic trimeter containing 3 unstressed followed by stressed beats per line. Each stanza of the poem was a sestet, meaning that it contains 6 lines. Additionally, Rossetti maintained the rhyme scheme of ABCBDB throughout the piece. The Blessed Damozel, the critical analysis of the Blessed Damozel. The Blessed Damozel breathes all the freshness, warmth, and passion of youth. The poem is full of fine, subtle touches. The freshness and spaciousness are lacking in some of his more ornate later poems. It deals with the love of the Blessed Damozel, the heavenly spirit, as if she were still an earthly creature with all the warmth and intensity of love found in a young girl, a wonderful poem written by a young man of 19, Rossetti. In spite of calm, deep eyes and angelic voice, this lovely damsel longs so passionately for her lover that her bosom makes the gold bars of heavens rampant warm. Her sobs and tears are so touching as to melt the heart of all lovers. There is peculiar mixture of human and angelic in the poem. Just as there in strange alternation between heaven and earth, one may trace in the poem the obvious influence of Dante's Divine Comedy. It combines physical love with the spiritual. Rossetti is a painter first and poet next. His picture appeared first and poems afterwards. Like Keats, he was a pictorial poet. His outlook on the world is essentially that of a painter. He thought and felt in pigments. Only a painter would have given us lines like this. It was one of the most fascinating poems written by Rossetti. It combines the vastness with the nearness, which lends it an incomparable charm. This beautiful poem was a supreme instance of the charming of the ancient form with the most passionate dreams of today. The manner in which Rossetti turns to heaven and to a spiritual afterlife would convey the idea that is religious poetry. In fact, the title of the poem, The Blessed Damozel, brings to mind the Virgin Mary, but Rossetti's intention was never to write for religious purposes. On the contrary, whereas religious believes in shedding of all earthly bonds following a union with God, the idea of Rossetti presents in The Blessed Damozel was that earthly love survives in heaven. There was also a lot that the religion minded would object to in his portrayal of the disconsolate woman's indifference to all heavenly delights in her disconsolate grief stricken. Thank you.